Well, welcome in once again, everybody, to another awesome, always awesome edition of the 19th Hole Podcast for Golfers. I'm your host, Dennis Silvers, coming to you live, of course, from the beautiful Rigel Studios, right in the heart of Las Vegas, the entertainment capital of the world. Yes, we are coming back. Shows are opening. We're getting to be full capacity by June 1st. I think I mentioned it last show or something. Our governor said that's it, 100%. So everybody's feeling really good about it. A lot of traffic on the Strip right now. People are coming into McCarran. As I mentioned, golf courses have been jammed packed for months and months and months, which is really awesome. Golf club sales are through the roof, which is really, really awesome, both for the golf club manufacturers and the retailers and stuff. So it's good all around. We hope the weather's great in your part of the country, so you're getting out. I know a lot of courses are just now starting to open, so we hope you take advantage of it. Get out, start playing, enjoy it, and get out as much as you can, if you can, obviously. Anyway, we've got a great show for you today. If anybody knows me at all, they know I'm just love long driving. Love long drivers. I think it's just absolutely fascinating. I don't know how many of you watching have ever attended a long drive competition in person, but if you haven't and you have a chance to do it, absolutely take advantage of it, because number one, these guys are awesome to see hit a golf ball that you would not believe. They're real characters, they're real personalities, and you'll just come away scratching your head going, how in the world do they physically hit a ball that far? Well, seeing is believing, and when you see it, you're going to, again, come away shaking your head. And we've got a guy with us on the show today who's one of my favorite guests. He's a great guy, both on and off the golf course. He has turned out to be one of the top teachers, not only in Southern California, but he does clinics all around the country, and everybody loves him. So let me bring up Mr. Monte Scheinblum, who is in Southern California, and let me talk to you a little bit about Monte. Monte is a former national and world long drive champion. Monte played professional golf on the Nike Tour for a little bit, a couple events on the PGA Tour. He has turned into, as I say, a phenomenal teacher right now. He's down in Orange County. We'll talk about that a little bit. Knows the golf swing. Very, very good player. So I want to get into a bunch of stuff with him right now. So Monte, thanks for taking time out, my friend, and coming on the show. We always love to have you on. Oh, I can't hear Monte. All right, I lost your audio, Monte. Can you hear me? All right, hold on, folks. This is live, so bear with us.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Put the headphones back on.
Yeah, try the headphones back on, Monte.
I can't hear you now.
Okay, try and put them back on.
Okay, we get that to work.
That's got it. Can you hear me?
Now I've lost your audio.
Oh, really?
Let's go to a commercial break.
All right, I'll tell you what, we're going to get it straightened out. Let's go to our first commercial break while we get out a couple of technical difficulties. Hopefully we'll get those ironed out, so stay with us. We will be back with Monte Scheinblum. Stay with us.
Golfers at every level strive to hit the ball like a tour player, setting the club perfectly at the top, storing all the energy as they unwind and their club head approaches the ball, striking it flush at impact and staring it down as it explodes off the club towards the target. Introducing Precision Impact. Precision Impact is the single tool that will accelerate that process and get anybody striking the ball with complete command. Unlike any other product, Precision Impact is designed to keep the hands quiet and prevent the fatal flipping or scooping of the hands. This amazing product will actually reprogram your brain to keep your hands in the perfect textbook position. Precision Impact will soon have you hitting the most crisp, consistent shots of your life. As you start your backswing, you should hear several clicks as your wrist folds properly for a perfect set at the top of your swing. From there, Allow your arms to fall as you aggressively rotate through the ball, knowing your precision impact will keep your hands and club head in the ideal position. Order now at PrecisionImpactGolf.com and never look back.
Hey golfers, I've been a golf talk show host for a long time, and I've been playing golf even longer. Being in golf media, I've had the chance to play every ball ever made. I've tried them all. Well, my search is finally over because I found the best ball I have ever played with, and more golfers are finding the same thing. I started playing with the Elixir golf ball made by Encore Golf. Encore Golf has revolutionized both their golf balls, the Elixir or the Avant 55, or the brand new Vero X1, to where the performance of either will simply blow you away. It did me. If you're looking for better performance and durability with your ball, Encore Golf has it. Don't just take my word for it. Check them out at EncoreGolf.com and you'll become convinced, as I am, the first time you tee it up with Encore. It's the best performing ball for the price. Go to EncoreGolf.com and see for yourself. Your scores will love you for it. That's ONCORE golf.com. All right, welcome back in, everybody. We're having a very interesting opening to the show. We've run into some small technical issues that we hope we're getting straightened out. And there's Monty there. How about now, Monty? Can you hear me?
I got you now. Can you hear me?
Yeah, very well. Thank you. You know, stuff happens. You know what I mean? It's that's the beauty of doing a show live. But anyway, let me get right into it. Monty, what motivates somebody to get into long drive competition?
Well, I remember it was kind of a strange thing. I wasn't very big as a teenager. When I graduated high school, I was only 5'6" or 5'7".
Wow.
And I hit it pretty far, but not ridiculous. And in a 3-month stretch between my senior year of high school, my freshman year of college, I went from 5'6", 130 pounds to 6'1" and 175 pounds. And I gained 50 yards almost overnight.
Wow.
And when I got out of college, people started saying, hey, you should go try out for those long drive contests. You hit the ball pretty far. And I went, and I was competitive, but not world class. And somebody, one of the other long drivers came to me one day and he says, you're using a 43-inch driver. That's not gonna cut it. He goes, here's a 48-inch driver. Give it a shot. And that was in 1990. And I was the first alternate to make the World Championships.
Right.
There was only 36 at the World Championships in those days, so it was hard to qualify.
Yeah.
And then in 91, I finished second, and in 92, I won.
Wow. That is quite a story, and we could get into that. As far as I know, the drivers that these guys are using today are 48, 50, or whatever, and that's got a lot to do with it. And I've got a couple of questions a little bit later on to ask you about that. Is there what do you think are some of the lesser known attributes, for lack of a better word, a long driver has, besides obviously, his size, his strength, the club head speed, equipment, that type of thing? Anything that the average person looking at a long drive competition really wouldn't be aware of as far as the attributes that they have?
It's funny you say that. Until Jamie Sadlowski won, I was the smallest winner. I was only 6'1", 6'2", 180, 85 pounds, going up against the 6'6", 250-pound giants.
Huge, yeah.
Yeah. So a group of biomechanical engineers from the University of Denver wanted to study why they thought, and I wasn't physically imposing, I wasn't muscular, I was just a regular looking guy. And what they discovered, and I had a theory and they happened to agree with the theory, is that I have 100 percentile hand strength. I don't look physically imposing, but whenever they have that strength test, squeeze test with the hands, I go off the charts.
Wow.
And my theory was, and they said that's a valid theory, is that high grip strength, that high hand strength allowed me to get to closer to my maximum club head speed without losing control of the club face.
Interesting.
Because obviously at 150 miles an hour, there's a tremendous amount of torque
involved yes.
in squaring the club. And the theory is that I produce a higher speed because I can control the face.
Right. Interesting. It's interesting you say that, Money. The other last show that we had, we were talking to a great guest, and he said that in his belief, the golf swing speed is all about the hands. So do you obviously agree with that?
Well, it's long been thought that firing the hips and the speed of the rotation, okay?
Correct.
So I've got some good statistics for you.
Okay.
Hip speed is actually higher on the LPGA Tour than it is on the PGA Tour on average.
That is interesting. Wow.
It's been measured. And I measured several hundred golfers on hitting balls off their feet and hitting balls off their knees. And golfers will lose as much as 80% of their hip speed and torso speed and range of motion swinging off their knees, and only lose 10 to 20% of their club head speed.
Wow. That is interesting.
And when they do measurements, they found that there's a high correlation between proper loading and unloading of the wrists versus, movement of the body. Now, if you want to argue that poor movement of the hips and shoulders will reduce your club head speed, that's absolutely true.
Yeah.
But most of the speed generation is, I would agree, in the hands and wrists.
In the hands and wrists, and I agree with you. And I'd be remiss if I didn't mention Peter Costas was our guest, who was absolutely fabulous. Why do you think, Monty, long drive competition, at least in my perception, isn't as popular as it should be, or is it?
Well, it's really funny. The popularity of long driving has, had peaks and valleys. Mm-hmm. Back in the 70s, they used to have it at the PGA Championship, where while the PGA Championship was going on, they'd have it on one of the holes after the tournament was over. And there would be thousands of people lining the fairways, and it was huge. And, the Mike Dunaways and the Evan Big Cat Williams, they were legends, in the golf community. And when they moved it away from the PGA Championship, it really took a dive in popularity, coincidentally, when I was competing. And then Art Sellinger took it over and really expanded its popularity through the 90s and early 2000s.
Right.
And it was a big thing again. And then when the recession hit in 2008, all of golf kind of took a nosedive.
Yes.
And long driving kind of went right along with it.
Yep.
But now again, for the first time in a long time, Kyle Berkshire, who's the defending champion, is someone that the average golfer knows. Where back when I won, nobody knew who I was.
Yeah. No, that you make a very, very valid point. And do you think that has an effect overall as far as, and I love it, as you know, and I think it should be so much more popular because it's so great to watch, but that's got to have an impression or make it a little bit tougher for these guys to find suitable sponsors for their competition. Monty, do you agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, maybe the top 5 guys can make money at it.
Yeah.
And it's a shit. See, I like to look at, obviously I'm biased because I'm a competitor, former competitor, and
Right.
I'd like to see the sport boom. I look at long driving as like the home run derby in baseball, or like the 100-meter dash in the Olympics. Something where it's just a human being maxing out something.
Right.
And I think obviously, again, I'm biased. I think it's very entertaining. And the problem is that it's hard to make it interesting live because there's so much time in between groups hitting and the measuring of the drives.
Right.
Someone smarter than me has to figure out the right way to present the product.
Yeah.
And I don't have an answer to that.
Yeah, no, that's it's tough. I agree with you. And if somebody does come out with an answer or thinks about this, I think it would be vastly improved. All right, last question before we take another short break. After you made the decision to start teaching, how do you think your experience in long driving and your experiences playing professionally on tour translated to help you become a top-notch teacher as you are today?
Well, it lended me some credibility because, some guy just walking in off the street and saying, here are my theories on the swing, and he's not well known.
Yeah.
Everyone's going to say, oh, forget this fool. Being a former world long drive champion, my ideas could have been ridiculous, and some of them were perceived as ridiculous. Then people were willing to at least listen because of the credibility of being a long drive champion and a former high-level professional.
Right. Yeah. No, that's very true. That's got to give people a lot of confidence and gives you a lot of street cred, obviously. All right, we're going to step away again, take a short break. We come back. We got a lot more with our very special guest, Mr. Monte Scheinblum from beautiful Orange County in Southern California. Stay with us. We return right after this.
Hello, my name's Adam Bazalgette, Director of Instruction here at the Club at Mediterra in Naples, Florida, and founder of Scratch Golf Academy. Let's talk today about how to start your downswing, or specifically, what starts your downswing. Now, let's use a quick analogy so you get the general principle. Let's use the towel. This is the club head end, and the goal of the start of the downswing is to store power and some ability to hit with speed. So that means the end furthest from the club head, the end I'm holding, which should be represented by the core of my body, my hips, that must start first if I'm going to have a truly effective start to the downswing. Now, specifically, what would you want to see? You would want to see your lower body work independently of the rest of your body. The more independently the segments work, segments being lower body, trunk, arms, club, the more lash and speed you're going to have. So when you get up here, actually slightly before the club's finished going back, I'm going to show you how this thing helps you here in just a second. You're going to feel your lower body change direction. Couple of quick notes. You want to move towards the target with your lower body. It's not just spinning. And you want to put pressure into the ground. That is a much more powerful way to do this thing. Pressure into the ground. Now, this orange whip, you can get these online. I think it's a great teaching aid. It has some weight out here and a lot of flex. So as you do this, you literally can't help but have the club load and react to your body. It's a wonderful way to make some swings and get the feeling for this. But our principle again, in order for power, the lower body starts, that creates a gradual loading of the club and the energy transfers up through the chain as you go. I hope that's helpful to you. If you like this, just hit the thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. We'll get you more free content. If you have a comment or a question about your swing, you can put it below. I'll get to it as soon as I can. Founder of Scratch Golf Academy, lots of content there for you. I hope you'll go there and browse. And I hope this gives you a clearer understanding of what starts your downswing.
One of the buzzwords happening in golf is the word lag. You hear it all the time, but what is it, and how do I get it? Lag simply is the loading of the club to help produce tons of power in your golf swing. Up until now, getting lag into your swing has been very hard. Introducing the lag shot, a brand new proven training aid being praised by some of the leading PGA Tour instructors across the globe. This practice aid trains your hands, arms and body how to make a powerful, efficient golf swing with an amazing amount of lag. Lag Shot is a 7-iron length club with the same loft and lie with a whippy, flexible blue shaft and a beautiful jet black club head. After you master the Lag Shot, your game will change forever with a stress-free swing, more power and more distance with lower scores every time you play. Go to lagshotgolf.com and you'll see why this truly is becoming the #1 training aid in golf. Visit lagshotgolf.com. As golfers, we want instant gratification when it comes to a better golf swing and playing better golf. Impossible, you say? Not anymore. Golf Boost Artificial Intelligence (AI) has developed and patented the most advanced swing analysis technology in golf. Simply, the algorithms detect your body position and then analyze your golf swing using their artificial intelligence technology. The AI captures all the relevant data from your swing video and then presents you a personalized lesson. Golf Boost AI is the ultimate swing analysis and virtual instruction system for golfers of all ages and abilities. This sophisticated software takes into consideration your height and build, playing level, and returns the ideal solution for your swing. Bottom line, Golf Boost AI is an incredibly convenient and cost-effective tool for golfers to improve their swing. Go to golfboost.com and check it out. The app is free to download and try. Visit golfboost.com today.
All right, welcome back, everybody, to more of the 19th Hole podcast for golfers. I'm your host, Dennis Silvers, having a great conversation with my friend Monte Scheinblum. And Monte, I don't know if you know Adam Bazalgette, by the way. He's a 3-time section PGA Teacher of the Year down in Florida, who has Scratch Golf Academy. He's absolutely wonderful. Has a great online series as well. But brings me to the question, do you think the average weekend player might be focused a little too much on distance, ignoring what I think is really other important parts of the game, like your short game, what I call the scoring area of the game? What do you see in all the lessons that you give?
It's interesting. All of the metrics show that distance off the tee lowers your scores. And striking the ball solidly and hitting the ball better lowers your scores. So we have two different schools of thought here. The drive for show, putt for dough.
Right.
Which is ridiculous. And hit it farther and get it closer to the green. And that's all you should care about. That's also ridiculous. The places where golfers get in trouble, both with their golf games and their swings, is going to either extreme. There is no substitute for hitting the ball in play closer to the green. All right? But that doesn't help you any if you can't get it near the hole and putt it in the hole.
True.
So these extreme dynamics, neither of which are true. You need to improve all facets of your game including the mental and your course management.
Right.
To make it better.
That's true. And, that brings me to that right on cue, Money. Very good. That brings me to my question that I want to ask you. What do you think, and there are some out there, and I'm not knocking them, I'm not putting them down or anything, but what do you think about golf instructors that almost advertise themselves as a, all-in-one stop? Not only do they teach golf mechanics, they also help you with the mental game. They'll also help you with, with workouts, with nutrition, with that and the other. I just don't think somebody would have enough expertise in all of those areas to be that efficient. Just concentrate on one area and become good at it. What's your thought about that?
It's funny you asked that. Again, I'm with you. I don't want to say anything bad about those guys. But my clients will come to me and say, Monte, what shaft should I be playing? What driver should I be playing? And I say, look, I can watch you hit a ball and see that the shaft is not right because it's spinning too much. I can see that the grip is too big or too small and your hands are not fitting on the club correctly. This is what I'm an expert in. For me to detract my expertise into which shaft you should be playing,
right,
I'm not doing my job, which is to learn more about the swing every day. So I try and make myself as educated as I can on the swing and how it works, and I leave the equipment questions and the fitness questions to people that are experts on that.
Right. Exactly. Makes absolutely perfect sense. Do you think players, though, Monty, in general, rely maybe a little bit too much on getting help on their swing from, say, YouTube or subscription offerings by various teachers and things like that? They could go overboard with it.
Here's the problem. The YouTube, the subscription models, all of that stuff, the information is fantastic, okay? Among the good teachers, there's some out there that are questionable in their knowledge, let's be honest. Here's the problem, is the next time someone walks into my lesson studio or sends me an online lesson and they're aware of the root cause fault for all of their problems, it'll be the first time. People are always addressing effects, as I like to call them. Oh, Monte, my hips are stalling at impact. I'm flipping the club. I'm over the top. I'm hitting the ball in the toe. What do I do to fix that? And you can't fix those problems directly. Those are residual effects of something else happening.
Right.
And, I have a stupid little joke that I make. The way people address their golf swings would be like walking into a doctor's office with a cough and the doctor saying, well, you're coughing, hold your breath and you won't cough. That is not addressing the problem.
No, that's not addressing the problem. You're right. You got to find the root cause of things. That's interesting. I don't know how many of our viewers and listeners have seen Monty, speaking of YouTube, but he does an absolutely terrific job because he's got a little different style. Number one, his information sometimes is a little bit different, and that's one of the many reasons I like him so much. But I've heard people think of you not in a bad way, Monty, but somewhat as a contrarian. And I don't know whether you have heard that or not, but what do you think about that? Because in some ways I think you are in some of the stuff that you teach, and I don't think that's a bad thing because there's usually always more than one way to do something.
It's funny you say that. I am a contrarian away from the party lines. What I call the party lines. Fire the hips, hold the lag, swing to right field, all that stuff. And modern technology has proven a lot of those cliches or those party lines as myths, falsehoods.
Right.
It's funny that I'm looked at as a contrarian, and I agree when people say that, because I base all of my teaching on objective measurements of what good players do. So it's ironic that I'm looked at as a contrarian, because I am teaching things that, I don't pick one tour player and say, copy this. I look at the data, the measurements of, pressure shifts and wrist movements and 3D body motions of players of all skill levels. And, tour players do things a certain way. Scratch golfers do things a certain way.
Right.
Fives do things a certain way, and
Right.
on up the chain.
Right.
And generally speaking, if you can get people to objectively do things more like the players that are one step above them, you improve their golf games.
There's no doubt about it. No doubt about it. How much do you emphasize to your students? It's okay to come to you to get a great lesson. They leave hitting the ball much better. They're on top of the world, but they don't practice. How much do you emphasize to follow up, and they've got to keep working on it? They've got to go out and hit balls.
Okay, so I have two things about this. First off is improvement in golf is not linear, and the timeline of improvement is often the same as continental drift. Improvement often takes a long time. Yeah. A lot of my clients don't have time to practice. Here's what's important. The amount of practice time, sure, if you're practicing a lot, you're going to be able to get better quicker. But what's more important than that, and the biggest mistake that amateurs make when they're practicing, is staying on topic, keeping the course on good days and bad days. Because golfers have a really bad habit of, they'll get something that works and they'll hit one bad shot or have one bad day and they'll go, well, this isn't working anymore.
Yeah, and they
then
revert
try the
back,
next.
right, yeah.
Yeah, exactly right.
Yeah.
So, if you can only make it to the range for a half an hour once every 2 weeks, you can improve doing that as long as you're always addressing that root cause problem that you have.
Exactly. But with all the information that is available today, Monty, we talked about it on books, magazines, DVDs, YouTubes, whatever, why in the hell aren't most players getting better?
There's two things. Number one, what I just said. People want improvement to be linear. I get this email constantly. Monty, I just had my worst round in 2 weeks. I'm like, okay, you had a bad day, it's fine. The urge to change or revert when you've had one bad session or two bad sessions at the range is very strong. So you ask a 20 handicapper, how you doing? Well, I hit a small bucket and I was terrible. You ask a tour player, how you doing? They'll say, the last 18 months, I've made this much progress.
Right.
And then the second thing, I'm the bad guy, but a lot of the information out there is poor.
Yes, I totally agree with you, and that's really a whole I think a whole other show. Do you find that a lot of your students that come to you initially for their first lesson overestimate their ability? You'll say, okay, well, how far do you hit a 7-iron? I don't know, 160 yards. All right, well, hit a couple for me, and they'll get it out there 130 yards. Is that common, Monty?
It's a little more subtle than that. Most golfers don't really overestimate their abilities as much as they have unrealistic expectations of themselves. I know that kind of sounds like the same thing, but like you ask a 15 handicap who's a decent golfer, how many 8-footers do you think you should make? And they'll say, well, like 50 or 60%. And I'm like, congratulations, you're a tour player.
Right, exactly.
Because that's the 50% make distance on tour.
Right.
So, they watch golf on TV late on Sunday, and nearly every shot is perfect, except for the one that the guy blows because he's nervous.
Right.
And they don't understand what their expectation should be. So they come for a lesson, and they'll hit 3 good shots in a row, and then they'll heel one, and they'll go, oh, I healed that one. I'm like, yeah, it's fine. It's okay. Because the human instinct, you hit a bad shot, oh, well, I did something wrong. I need to fix it on the next one, and that's a disaster.
Yeah, true.
You get up over the ball, you try and get the ball in the middle of the club face. If you don't do it, you do better on the next one.
Right. Don't you think, though, Monte, overall, the average weekend player, or actually more than that, just makes the golf swing more complicated than it needs to be?
It's not their fault. They've been told that they can't have a good golf swing unless they make a full turn, unless they have lag, unless their lower body leads, unless they get 40 degrees open at impact, unless they have shaft lead,
right,
and unless they're hitting every ball in the middle of the club face with a 1-yard draw. And that's an overwhelming task that nobody can perform.
Yeah, yeah.
This is what I always tell people. Make your long-term goals as lofty as you want. If a 20 handicapper comes to me and says, someday I want to be a scratch golfer, I'm like, cool, I'm in, I'll help you do that. But when a guy comes to me and every single shot that's not a tour level shot, he's hanging his head in shame and saying, why did I do that?
Yeah.
He doesn't like the answer. Well, you're a 12, you're not going to hit every shot well. And they don't like that.
Right.
Everybody wants to hit every shot perfectly. And if they don't, they want to fix it with the next, swing tip.
Right. It's the instant gratification. I mean, that's what this whole thing is all about. Speaking about you helping people, if somebody lives in Orange County or LA area, Southern California, wherever, I know you have people come to see you from all over the world. How does somebody get a hold of you if they're interested in coming to see you to get some help?
The easiest way is just to go to my website, Rebellion Golf. It's funny you say I'm a contrarian. My website's name is Rebellion Golf.
I like it. I like it.
And there's rebelliongolf.com. There's multiple ways on there to contact me.
I like it. Okay. All right. Do you give a media rate? If I come see you, do I get a media rate? Whatever the hell that might be?
Yes. It's twice as much as regular.
I knew it. I absolutely do it. I knew it. All right. Anyway, Monte, thank you so much. Always great to have you on the show. Always great information. And like I say, if you're serious about improving your game and you're realistic, you got to get a hold of Monte Scheinblum. Monte, thanks very much. And we will see you sooner than later as far as having you back on the show.
Excellent, Dennis. Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much. Monte Scheinblum, everybody. He's just a great guy, just a great teacher. All right, we're going to step away, take one more short break, come back, and we're going to wrap up the show for you, so stay with us. When it comes to golf, I'm a man of few words, as you'll see. Looking for out-of-this-world technology in your golf ball? Encore Golf. Looking for exceptional performance and durability? Encore Golf. Looking for the best performing ball for the price? Encore Golf. Check them out at Encore Golf. That's ONCORE golf.com. Your scores will thank you.
Innovation begins at a single point. Elements, each with their unique character. Fire-forged steel creates unprecedented control. Chemistry delivers a touch so soft, combined to create a level of performance previously unimagined. Like magic, the Elixir, the new tour ball from Encore.
Boom. All right, welcome back, everybody. And remember, if you're looking at us on YouTube or Facebook or Twitter or any of the other social media platforms, and you have a chance to subscribe, give us a like or whatever, leave us some good comments. We'd very much appreciate you doing that. We're going to be starting a new feature. I think I mentioned a while ago that I do with Gene Parente, who owns Golf Labs Inc. down in San Diego, probably the most reputed guy in the country as far as knowing golf equipment. We call it the Golfer's Garden. That's going to be starting soon, where we take questions from you, from people out there about all sorts of issues as far as equipment, golf clubs, golf balls, shafts, whatever in general. So make sure you look for that. Anyway, that's going to wrap it up for this edition of the 19th Hole Podcast for Golfers. On behalf of Monte Scheinblum, I'm your host, Dennis Silvers. We want to thank you for tuning in, and we will see you all back same place, same time next week. So long, everybody.